Okay. Do you always get hit in sparring? Then you're gonna love this video. I'm Jesse from karatebyjesse.com, and today I'm joined by my brother Oliver, professional MMA fighter and all-around handsome guy.
In today's video, you're gonna learn 3 simple fixes for common mistakes in sparring.
Check it out. Alright, so first of all, do you ever get hit as a professional fighter? Or are you just invincible? Nobody can ever hit you.
Everyone gets hit, right? And if you don't get hit, it means you're sparring with people that are too low of a level.
Right. You should not be the best fighter in your academy, right?
Then you're at the wrong academy.
Exactly. But you don't want to get hit too much either, right?
Because then you might lose motivation and you feel it's too hard. The number one most common mistake I see people do in sparring, which makes them a stationary target, is they compromise their defense for offense. So what I mean by that is you expose your shin when you're striking, or you don't move your head as you strike, or you stay put and throw your strikes, so essentially your opponent can close their eyes and swing at you and you'll get hit.
Right. So in essence, you should be defending and attacking simultaneously. You don't want to just defend or just attack. You want to do them both at the same time.
Right, exactly. So here's an example. Say we're in a striking exchange and I would throw a combination of 4 strikes. I could throw them like this, but now you can just close your eyes and punch at me, right? Boom! I would get hit, right? So if I instead move my head with the motion my body's already going in, for example like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, I would have a moving target instead of a stationary target, right? So I would get harder to hit. So that's what I mean by not compromising your defense for offense. Another trick to this is not exposing your shin, striking like this, because now I'm 100% offense but 0% defense, right? Yeah. So you always want to have these strung together. So when I strike, I still want to be covered up because we're in the pocket where we can touch each other. So I need to be covered up with my shoulders as I strike, and being tight to the body and to the face where he would try to hit me back. The same principle applies, of course, when you attack with your legs. So if I would knee you or kick you, I don't want to pull my guard down like this. Especially if you hit me with your straight punches and I do a round thing, boom, you're gonna get from A to B faster. So I need to be covered up here if I wanna hit you with my legs. I still got my arms to protect and my shoulders as a frame in between us. Right. And if I throw a kick, say a roundhouse kick, I would keep my arm out here for a distance. So you don't step in too close and grab me, and you see my shoulders protecting my shin.
Alright, number 2. What is the second fix that you have for people who get punched all the time when they're sparring?
The second mistake to fix would be being too heavy on your lead leg.
Interesting.
People often put more of their weight on the lead leg, which makes it take longer for me to move away from my opponent as a strike is coming towards me.
Yeah.
And this happens most of the time when I strike. I transfer all my weight to the lead leg, and at the same time moving my own target towards my opponent.
Right, so they're kind of falling into the attacks, which pushes all of their weight forward, and then in turn they get overexposed and punched themselves.
Exactly.
Or kicked, or strike, whatever.
Yeah. And if you would attack me and I'm heavy on one of my legs, I limited the directions that I can move. Yeah. If I have an equal distribution on both legs, I can choose which way to move. as you strike.
Yeah.
Because it depends on what angle you will attack me from,
Right.
where I need to move, right?
So in essence, you don't want to be static on either leg. You want to be kind of mobile as much as possible.
Yeah.
So like a 50-50 weight distribution.
Yeah. If I step in to strike you now, I can strike you and moving forward, putting all my weight on this leg, right? And then when you cover up, you're gonna strike me back, right? And now I'm in distance for your strikes. Compare this to being heavy on the rear leg and striking you from over here by really extending and turning my shoulder over to get this reach. And now you see I'm out of range. So I don't move my own target towards you with my attack, right? So I keep my weight on the rear leg. This also makes it easier if you would try to kick me in the front leg. Boom, oof, that's gonna take my balance away. But if I keep my weight on the rear leg and you kick my, it's much easier for me to block and move this leg out of the way. So the third most common mistake I see is not having an exit strategy.
Right.
And what I mean by that is when you attack,
Yeah.
you don't think what's gonna happen after the attack, right?
Yeah.
So I throw my combination and then
What?
right.
Yeah.
And then what? You stand here and you get hit back with a counter,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Because if I don't knock you out, which I hope you don't do in sparring, you gotta keep your training partner safe. But when you throw your attack, you gotta have an exit strategy because your opponent will throw something back at you.
Yeah.
You don't want to be standing in the line of fire then.
Yeah. This is something that I see a lot with karate fighters who try to go over and do MMA or other full contact combat sports. They're so used to that blitzing or covering that gap or
Right,
distance.
right.
But when they get close, they expect the referee to separate and give a point, like in sports karate. But
Yeah.
that doesn't happen in this.
There's no break.
Exactly. So maybe they get knocked out, or they don't have an exit strategy, and so on.
So I step in for my attack, boom, pop, pop. And now I can make sure he's gonna throw a counter. So I need an exit strategy. For example, I can pivot out like I just did. Take a step and I pivot out. I could, after I attack, I roll out this way. So I take the angle by rolling, by ducking. I could, after I attack, just frame and go backwards or towards him. I attack and then immediately clinch up. So I don't stay in the pocket at his arm length.
Any last words for people who are out there and don't want to get punched in the face?
There's also one important lesson in your mindset when you go into sparring. And this is something everyone can take advantage of, and it's not being too competitive. So don't just try to win, but try to learn in every sparring session. You're gonna face someone who's better, someone who's worse, someone who's bigger, someone who's smaller, and take the advantage of every sparring round to actually improve and get better. If you spar with a beginner, you can still try to learn something like going into a distance where you're not really comfortable,
Right.
or just focusing on one technique that you don't feel very good at. And at the other end of the spectrum, if you fight someone who's much better, then you can really try to perform and use these tactics, for example.
Yeah, awesome. And that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoy this. Leave a comment, let us know what else would you like to learn when it comes to sparring and fighting in general. Train hard, good luck, and have fun.
Get it!